builder. If you live in New York City, come meet me at the International Film Festival on November 10th, known as the Urban Action Showcase Expo. What things do I look for before sending my film into a film festival? 1. A film festival that specifically dives in the genre of my film. 2. A film festival that has been established and successfully running for at least 5 years. 3. Be careful of the entry fees. Some are free, or some go all the way up to $200. Done. Roll that intro. What's up, everybody? You're watching Too Long Didn't Read Filmmaker, where the answers comes first, the reasons come last, but we are constantly and always still learning. So the main announcement of this video is if you live anywhere in or near around the New York City area, then there could be a chance that I could meet you at the International Film Festival known as the Urban Action Showcase Expo. That is happening at the AMC Empire 25 Theater near Times Square, and that's going to be happening on November 10th. Now, the reason I'm even attending this film festival is because my very first feature film, Project E1337, was actually selected to compete against 9 other feature films to see which one of ours reigns supreme and what kind of awards our films can get. Now, this is really exciting for me because I've never attended a major film festival like this before, but it's also not just a film festival, there's actually an expo, and I'm not paid to tell you any of this, but they do have some guest panel speakers that have worked with companies like Marvel, but they also have fight choreographers come in to teach you what to look for, what to do, some instructors that are going to teach you how to use bladed weapons, and then instructors teaching you how to use firearms in your film. So I'm really excited to take all those classes so that I can better my knowledge of what I can do to craft my action scenes better for my next film. Now, if you do end up going there, my film is going to be playing in Theater 10, I believe, and that's going to be at 3 p.m. is when my film will be showing. So I will definitely be there at that time, and if so, I might get a chance to meet you. So the main topic of today's video is film festivals and whether or not it's something that you should consider, and if you do decide to go that route, what things should you think about before just submitting your film? Because Project E1337, this is the only film festival that accepted it into its programming to compete. But here's the kicker. This film festival is the only one that I sent it to. I didn't send it to anybody else. Why? Let's talk about that. Okay, so the main thing that you need to think about before sending your film off to a film festival is you need to find a film festival that is specifically looking for your type of film. Now, the only reason I'm saying this is because after I finished Project E1337, my friends, my colleagues, some family members would say, okay, cool, so now you're gonna send it to Sundance, right? I kind of looked at them and said, no. I haven't really thought about film festivals, but no, I would never send it to Sundance. And they kind of looked at me and said, well, why not? And basically I told them, based on my perception of the Sundance Film Festival, I feel like the only ones that get selected and win are either documentaries, dramas, maybe some comedies, basically anything but a straight up action film that Project E1337 is like. So upon saying that, I go, okay, if that's my perception of Sundance, then I'm sure there's a film festival out there that specifically only wants action films. And sure enough, there was. So the reason that you want to really narrow it down, even though some film festivals will say, hey, we take action, we take sci-fi, we take drama, we take comedy, we take all these categories, and all these categories have their own chance to win, I'm still weary of that because I don't know how much staff they actually have that are actually looking at your film to specifically eye out what it is that makes your film special. So I didn't go for any of those film festivals. I only went for this one because my film specifically has military and gunplay action, and it also has a nice long finale hand-to-hand sequence that happens in the end. And I knew that if this team of action-loving film people watch my film to determine if it should be selected, that they're gonna look at those parts and go, okay, this is a good action sequence. I like it. We need to put this in the film festival. So, long story short, the very first thing you need to think of is find a film festival that specifically wants your film. Number 2, so now that you've found all the film festivals that specifically dives in your genre of film, you need to then ask yourself, well, how many years have these film festivals been successfully running? So in this case, I only chose Urban Action because their film festival has been running a little over 5 years, I believe, and they have amazing reviews at filmfreeway.com, which is how I actually sent them my submission. Now, why is this important? It's important because if a film festival has been successful for 10 years, then you know that people are going. They are actually going to this film festival because they're watching films that they love, they're enjoying what the film festival offers, and therefore you know that if you attend this film festival, there's a pretty good chance that there's going to be people in the screening room watching your film. Now, I can't imagine what it would be like if you got into a film festival and it seems like it's a really big one, and you go there, you pay your plane ticket, you travel, and then you go into the screening room ready to meet some people that are going to watch your film, and suddenly there's only like 10 people in there. You ask yourself why? Well, if the film festival has a bunch of different categories, then you're gonna get random people or maybe none at all. Whereas over here, I know people who attend this film festival is looking for action films. So the chances of me meeting a bunch of people in my screening room, and after they watch the film, I'm like, okay, cool, I'm talking to a bunch of people that are like-minded. I can ask them for critiques, I can just talk with them, and maybe we might collaborate in a film in the future. So therefore, you kind of want to look at how long has the film festival been running. Now, I'm not saying you should completely dismiss some film festivals that have only been around for 1 or 2 years. Those are also quite valid if they are really trying to find a specific niche. However, I would say that you definitely want to kind of put a little bit more priority to the ones that have been around for a while, but definitely do still submit to the ones that haven't been around for a while. Okay, and the third and final point that you need to look out for is money. Some of these film festivals are free, some are $10 per entry, $20 per entry, they can go all the way up to $200 per entry. And that's why all the previous points are important. You want to make sure you're not sending it to a film festival that has the best chance of winning, or at least being selected, and therefore you can save money in the long run. Because again, there's no reason for you to spend $200 to submit your film to a film festival that might have the category of your film, but that's not what they're known for. So that's $200 that flies away. Whereas maybe I could have found a couple other film festivals, like 10 of them at $20 a piece, and have more chances of them getting into one of those festivals than just sending it to one. So don't break your bank. Really start thinking about all the things that I talk about. And the last thing is money. How much are they asking for? Is it something that you believe you have a chance to actually be selected for? And if so, then go ahead and spend the money. But if it's like $200 some and it's, you know, it just doesn't seem right, then save your $200. Don't waste it. Okay, so this is kind of a bonus thing that I want to touch up on. It's a little bit more psychological, and I would be very interested to see what you guys think about it. So bear with me on this one. When you get into a film festival, you get sent something called a laurel, and that laurel can be put onto your movie poster. And you've all seen this before for independent films. There's a bunch of laurels that say it was the official selection of Sundance, Tribeca, Toronto, what have you. And that way people go, okay, this film must be good because look at it, it's got awards from these film festivals. So that's the psychological idea behind it. Now, if you send your film off to 20 different festivals because a lot of them were free or very cheap, and then they get into it, and then you start plastering all these laurels onto your poster, I feel there's a point where you start losing the appeal, where someone's gonna start thinking, at least for me, I go, is this movie that good? I don't know. So then I start looking at the laurels, and they'll say something like, Midwest Film Festival, or the Out in the Prairie Festival, the Mountain Film Festival. And I go, okay, so what are these film festivals specialize in? Because it doesn't tell me anything. So I want you to be careful. Also look for film festivals that specifically show off what your film is actually about. So for mine, it's the Urban Action Showcase International Film Festival. So if someone looks at that laurel and they read it, they see the word action. So they go, okay, this is an action film. It was an official selection and it won for best this or best fights or what have you. Then people get an idea that, okay, this was good enough to win at some kind of film festival that specifically delved with action. And of course, this could also be for like best sci-fi, best CGI category, or maybe it's best horror, best, gore scene, what have you. If your film festival has in the name what that film festival specifically adheres to and enjoys, then the laurel, I feel, carries weight. It carries importance. It carries the idea that your film was good enough to make it to a film festival that only specialized in one type of genre. So, if you do send yours off to a whole bunch of different film festivals, and rightfully so, if you won a lot of categories, I would actually say, choose your selection wisely of which one to put onto your poster. Do not just plaster your poster full of it. Put certain ones that when someone looks at that laurel, they go, okay, this is the best comedy ever because it got the audience laugh award or what have you, okay? So definitely think about that when you are submitting and also getting into a bunch of film festivals. And hey, that's it for this week, everybody. Again, if you are in or near the New York City area on November 10th, I will be at the AMC Empire 25 Theater near Times Square. My film, Project E1337, is going to be showing in Theater 10 at 3 o'clock, and I'm also going to be attending a bunch of the workshops too. So if you do go there, definitely leave a comment down below, chat with me, and hopefully I will see you in the screening room. But until then, like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.